Max Verstappen shrugs off mid-race chaos to beat Lando Norris in Shanghai. Max Verstappen's dominance was on display in the Chinese Grand Prix as the reigning world champion shrugged off two mid-race safety cars to win by X seconds over Lando Norris with Sergio Perez third. Valtteri Bottas' powerless Sauber necessitated a VSC that became a safety car when the marshals weren't able to clear his car, while the restart saw Lance Stroll crash into Daniel Ricciardo, Kevin Magnussen take out Yuki Tsunoda, and a second SC. Max Verstappen extends championship advantage with fourth win of 2024. There was pre-race drama at Aston Martin after Fernando Alonso broke the right side of his floor on the way to the grid. His mechanics worked furiously to repair it, finishing up with minutes to spare. And given Alonso's flying start, it seemed they did a good job. The Spaniard flew off the line to take second place off Sergio Perez, the two running behind pole-sitter and race leader Max Verstappen. The Ferrari's teammates, Charles Leclerc pushing Carlos Sainz wide, lost a position to George Russell while the other Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton dropped to 19th before passing Zhou Guanyu to reclaim 18th. Daniel Ricciardo lost 4 places as Yuki Tsunoda made up 3, the RB teammates running 15th and 16th. Perez regained second place on lap 5, passing Alonso up the inside at turn 6 with McLaren letting Lando Norris know Alonso had been abusing his tires to stay ahead of Perez. Norris caught Alonso on lap 7 and used DRS to pass him up the inside at the hairpin before quickly taking the racing line and closing the door. The power of the DRS was evident as Leclerc stormed past Russell at turn 1 and then 3 laps did the same to Piastri to run 4th on lap 12. His next target was Alonso only for the Spaniard to pit, as too did Russell who was being hounded by Sainz. His teammate Hamilton had stopped 2 laps earlier, one of the first to pit. There was pit stop drama for Pierre Gasly as he went to leave his pit box before his rear right had been fitted and knocked over one of his mechanics. It was a 19th stop for the Alpine driver who dropped to P20. 14 laps in, Verstappen and Perez pitted from first and second with Norris and Leclerc promoted to the top 2 with McLaren keeping Norris out as they speculated Leclerc could go for the 1 stop. Verstappen overtook Leclerc, the Ferrari driver not fighting the move, before he chased down Norris to regain the lead on lap 19. 20 laps in, everyone barring Norris and Leclerc had pitted as they ran 2-3 behind Verstappen and ahead of Perez, Alonso, Russell, Piastri, Lance Stroll, Sainz, and with Nico Hülkenberg in the final points-paying position. The yellow flags were waved a lap later for Valtteri Bottas' powerless Sauber, that upgraded to a VSC which prompted Leclerc to dive into the pits with Norris unhappy after missing the pit entry. The marshals struggled to remove Bottas' car, which appeared to be stuck in gear, meaning the VSC remained and Norris got his cheap pit stop. Hamilton and Stroll also pitted. The safety car was deployed on lap 24. Verstappen pitted from the lead, Perez and Alonso amongst those who also pitted. The running order was Verstappen, Norris, Leclerc, Perez, Sainz, Alonso, Russell, Piastri, Ricciardo, and Stroll. The top 10 on the hard Pirellis barring Alonso on the soft tires and Ricciardo on the mediums. There was drama even before the restart as, bunched up by the leaders, Alonso locked up and Stroll went into the back of Ricciardo who hit Piastri. Then on the restart, Kevin Magnussen and Tsunoda collided as the Haas tried to dive up the inside and instead collided with the RB, Tsunoda out of the race. The safety car was back out. Stroll and Magnussen pitted for repairs while Ricciardo and Piastri reported damage. The race was back underway on lap 32 with Verstappen quickly pulling clear of the Norris/Leclerc battle with Perez and Alonso lining up behind them. Meanwhile, Ricciardo's floor damage cost him positions with the Aussie falling to 18th before retiring the car in the pits. Stroll and Magnussen were given 10s penalties for causing collisions, and Logan Sargent received one for a SC infringement. Back at the front, Verstappen led Norris while Leclerc had Perez on his rear wing. Perez finally made his move at the turn 6 hairpin, taking third on lap 39. He was 4 seconds down on Norris with 17 laps remaining. As McLaren confirmed Piastri had significant damage, behind him Hülkenberg and Hamilton went wheel-to-wheel over 9th place with Hamilton gaining the position on lap 41. Heading into the final 10 laps, Verstappen was 9 seconds up on Norris, who in turn was 4 ahead of Perez with Leclerc a further 2 adrift. Alonso dropped out of the top 10 down to 12th, as he pitted for a third time to swap his soft tires for mediums. He made short work of Alex Albon and then Esteban Ocon to run P10. Overtaking Hülkenberg, Hamilton and Piastri, Alonso was up to 7th with 5 to go. Verstappen stormed to the win, his 4th of the season, by X seconds ahead of Norris to add another 25 points to his championship quest, with the McLaren driver scoring 18. Perez was 3rd, the Mexican driver lacking the speed to even challenge Norris. Leclerc was 4th ahead of Sainz and Russell, with Alonso's late pit stop putting him P7, with the Aston Martin driver also scoring the fastest lap point. Piastri, Hamilton and Hülkenberg completed the points. Hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications to be notified instantly, share your thoughts, engage in discussions.